Okay, we're doing it.
We're doing it. What are we doing?
I don't know.
Where's our D20?
Hey. Oh.
I was like, if we're starting a podcast, we don't have a name for it. So put
This
title
is, like
here.
I said, Session 0 is what this episode is called. I think it should just be called Session 0 because this is the trial run. This is the... Maybe this will be something, or maybe we will sit here and talk for the next 2 hours, and then this will all be in the trash.
Like the last time where we never listened to it again.
We never listen to it again, we don't know what happens to it. So we'll find out in 2 hours if we ever do anything with this.
Yeah. You want to do D100? Or D20? I have more than 20 things on my list.
Yeah, but do you have 100?
Maybe.
So the answer is no. I mean, whatever. We can roll.
These have cursed us for so many years that we have to use them.
They have curses. Okay, well, before we roll dice, we should explain what we're doing and who are we.
We don't know.
Because we don't know. We are Five-Sided Fates. We put on TTRPG content all over DFW, and we decided, like every other person, all it takes to be annoying on the internet is to buy a couple of mics and a camera, and then you too can be an annoying podcaster. So, welcome to our unnamed podcast.
Podcast name here.
The FateCast?
I think FateCast is what we decided on like 3 years ago. I need to stop leaning on the table.
You need to stop leaning on the table, shaking the camera. I'm Casey.
I'm Jerry.
And
I sounded really disappointed when I said
you
that.
Did. You're like, and I'm Jerry, unfortunately.
I guess.
We're going to talk about stuff.
So much stuff.
I actually don't know. I went back and forth on the format of like, should we do, instead of talking about way too many things and then people have to care about us if they don't care about the content, or should we do shorter episodes but they're more about a single topic but we go into it more in depth? I don't know.
Hey, we're not doing this live. We can actually do both.
That's true. Well, yeah, because I was like, we could cut, because I was like, oh, it could be like a 30-minute long situation, but we talk about something more in depth, or it could be an hour long, we talk about 2 or 3 things. But then if someone doesn't care about those 2 or 3 things, or one of them in the middle, then they're going to stop listening. So you're not allowed to stop listening.
We'll come to your house. We know where you live. We know people.
Yeah. In crime.
So many people want to do crime, and I keep saying no crime.
Yeah, we're trying to stop the crime.
Stop doing crime, people. So my plan...
Start doing time.
In jail for your crimes.
No, machines. Time wizard. Become a time wizard. Very powerful in D&D. Or I also thought we could spend this episode just, like, talking about TTRPGs, or talking about how the Fates started, if we want to give just, like, a overview of who we are and how we got into the world we're in now, like cosplay, D&D.
We can do that. Do people care?
Fate. Nobody cares about anything we're doing.
No one cares about anything.
And that's fine.
Except for, like, the 12 people on our Discord that really are just so supportive.
Yeah, that are BFFs. And they will listen to this and share it on the internet. And
that'll stress me out.
What if other people
I don't
see
care
this?
if strangers listen to me talk, but people I know, nope, can't.
I mean, I kind of agree. I don't want to listen back to anything we talk about today.
I have to edit this. So, You know what I hate? The sound of my own voice.
I'm trying really hard to not talk in the back of my throat. But it's not super well, because that is exactly, I'm a very gravelly
Hey, I watched Marisha Ray's interview that said, like, you'll never be in voice acting because your voice sucks. And then they said... Actually,
there's a lot of characters who sound like that. It's not like everyone can sound like, I don't know, Glinda.
I sure can't. What do we want to talk about? I'm going to start.
It
all began when Fan Expo emailed her one time.
Oh, I was going to say it all began technically at ArlingCon in like 2018. When...
I really want to lean on this table so bad. And then I just knocked it. Okay.
Because I feel like that's the true origin story of how that's the first domino that fell to lead all the way to the Fates and where I'm sitting right now, I think is at ArlingCon. For you, it might have, well, I mean, I don't know about you.
Mine started
also
early.
No, started a little bit earlier.
Around the same time. Except for mine ends in a guy who is trying to be a creep and hire cute girls to do cosplay for him. Mm. And then he ended up being a psychopath and said that he was going to send the government after me. And yeah, I don't know what happened with that guy.
I don't know do I know this story?
I don't know.
This doesn't sound
familiar.
familiar.
This is before we were friends.
I know.
But that's why I was in that costume. Because he hired me to do that cosplay specifically.
That's right.
And that's why I was a floozy. and I thought you were a child.
Yeah. I mean, I was in my early 20s.
That's true.
So, I mean, I was young. Older. So, sure, we can go into depth instead of just being really vague about everything we're talking about. Like, you're not allowed to know our deep, dark secrets of...
I will tell you anything about my life.
The year is 2018, I believe.
2016.
2016?
2016.
The year's 2016. I was even younger than I thought, actually. I was like 20.
So you were a child.
I was a child.
You lied to me the whole time. I was 28, probably.
Yeah, so the year is 2016. I have decided that I care about 10% more about the way I look, so I started thrifting and sewing clothing, and I decided I wanted to sew clothing that looked like characters from video games. I did not know what the word cosplay meant, or was, really. That was more of a Comic-Con San Diego superhero thing, and that was the only category I knew. And so I was sewing costumes from BioShock, because at the time that was something I really liked, and they were kind of vintage, and I was into vintage style. And I made a little sister dress, and then I saw at the public library a thing advertising ArlingCon, which was a convention at our local college. And I thought, oh, those things exist outside of San Diego, and...
San Diego's the only place you're allowed to cosplay.
I don't know anything about. And so I went in a costume, and kind of was embarrassed the whole time, because I was like...
Were you with your mom, or
no,
with
I was
Jess?
with Brianna, which was a girl that I raced dirt bikes with.
Okay.
She ended up coming with me. She'd also never been to a convention and had no idea about any
ArlingCon's
of this stuff.
It was a very
convention. Small local convention. There was, the normal convention stuff. There were panels, I assume. Never went to one. There were
the best panels at ArlingCon, honestly. I missed it. It was so good.
You heard it here, folks. The vending was good. It was all put on by the public library, so it was very, chill. There are several people I met at that convention that I still, know today.
Me?
Like Jerry. Which is interesting, but I was just bopping around this convention, and a photographer wanted to take a photo of me and then asked if I was competing in the contest, and I was like, oh, absolutely not. I don't know anything about cosplay. I barely feel like I'm cosplaying now. This is just a dress I had made, and I very last minute made the prop for it and everything. He said, no, you should really enter. And so then I entered, and they did the pre-judging and everything, and then they were like, oh, now you're gonna go get in line to do the stage portion. What's the stage portion, you ask? No one gave me an answer.
What is that noise? Mysterious noises.
Mysterious noises happening behind us. And so I never actually found out until, because we were waiting in a hallway, and so I couldn't actually see the stage until I was the next person to go on stage, and then I saw the person before me, what they did, and I went, oh, I have to perform a skit on stage that I don't know anything about this. So I literally was... I don't think I've ever really been cringe in my life, but in my mind, I was like, this has got to be the most embarrassing thing I've ever done before. It feels... I
was behind you in line, so I have no idea what you did.
Yeah, I just, walked around being all creepy because I was, playing a small child covered in blood. And then I tried to stab the MC, with my big weapon, and he said something. He knew what I was, so he said something about it, and then I was like, haha, and then I left, and I ran to the back of the hall, because I was like, that was the craziest thing I've ever done. That was so embarrassing. And then I saw you, which was just
I was
girl
Enchantress from Suicide Squad, which I was hired by a man to make and wear that costume and promote it at conventions to promote the premiere of Suicide Squad at, I don't even remember, Studio Movie Grill, maybe? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Which was sponsored by DC Comics. They had stuff, my pictures were on there afterwards, but he ended up being a real creep. Don't talk to men on the internet.
Yeah. So I remember seeing this woman in a...
I was literally in a bikini, chains, body paint.
Yeah, and I remember thinking, wow,
I was much
I can't imagine
younger.
Being that naked in public. That was my thought. I was like, wow.
She was judging me.
I was judging.
I said, oh, look at that cute little child.
Yeah, and I looked like a child dressed as a child. And then they announced the top 3 or 5 or whatever winners of the costume contest. And they were like, and these people. I was like, oh, their stuff was good. And and this guy. And I'm like, wow, this stuff was really good. And they get down to about to call first place. And I'm scouring the audience where all of us have kind of congregated while we're waiting for the awards to happen. And I'm like, I can't think of another person in this audience that should be better than that guy who got second. Because he was in armor and stuff. And then they called my name. And I was like, oh, that feels incorrect.
They're wrong. They're put the wrong thing down.
And so then I had to run up there to the front and I won. And there's the great video. It's my like 10-year cosplay anniversary, so I guess it was 2016.
Yeah.
Because the video that my friend who was with me took of me on stage and was like, look at all these nerds, and she's the winner nerd, and like zoomed in on me because I had won. And it was weird, and I didn't know how to feel about it, and they gave me like $100 and some foam.
From TNT Cosplay Supply, that doesn't exist anymore, but I used to work there.
Yeah,
so
R.I.P.
shout out
TNT
to
Cosplay
Tony,
Supply.
and
They were good people. And they sponsored a lot of like small conventions and stuff like that. And so I went home and I went, maybe this is a thing I should do more. And so then I used that foam to make some of my second costume that I wore to Fan Expo, which was a much larger convention.
Going from ArlingCon to Fan Expo is a wild choice, and I did the exact same thing.
Absolutely crazy. It was like a convention of 200 people to a convention of 20,000 people.
Yeah, it's probably. I think it's now it's like 50.
Now it's like 50,000.
Yeah,
so I don't know if it was quite that big back then. But that was like peak Overwatch time. I was an Overwatch character and met a lot of Overwatch cosplayers that, once again, I still know some of those people, including the photographer that took a photo of me. That is Bobby.
Where there's this much of you.
There's this much of me showing, like hiding in the back. Because once again, I was still kind of embarrassed by the whole, like...
Especially Overwatch, that was really... That's like
so
peak popularity.
Peak popularity. I was Witch Mercy, so I was like one of the not main skins of the characters. I was like a side skin, but like one of the more popular ones. Definitely one of the I didn't quite realize how like over-sexualized I would be from this character, because every inch of me was covered. Like, yes, she's wearing kind of a corset and like a little jacket and thigh highs, but like every inch of your body is covered the whole time. So like in my mind I was just like, I just look cool, but I got a lot of attention only because I looked cool. I had big wings and everything, but also I think it like I never wore that costume again because I was made very uncomfortable by the way I was treated in it. But I met a lot of people and got a lot of positive feedback on all of that. Were you also at that same Fan Expo?
I was also at that same Fan Expo.
Who were you there? At this time, we still don't know each other.
We don't know each other.
We're just in the same places at the same time.
I was probably Enchantress because that was right after. It was only like a month something after Arlingcon. So I was Enchantress one of the days for sure. And then I was probably Xena one of the other days. I know I saw the Overwatch group walking to go where you took that picture with Bobby.
Yes.
So I was there, but we did not interact.
Yeah,
that was mostly like, I was much younger. I started off as a model and a photographer. And then I was like, you know what's even better? Making stuff. I love a craft. So I was like, what if I just make some outfits? And then I just never stopped. And I don't do photography anymore because the only person I'm taking pictures of in the last like 7 years is you.
It's true. Yeah.
And myself. Yeah. But yeah, I was there. I think I was just hanging out. No, I was working.
Were you working at the TNT booth?
No, I didn't work there yet. I was working for, I think it was Collected Comics, and I was running board games. Teaching people Carcassonne, which is one of my favorite board games now, but I had to learn it and then teach people. So I actually might not have been cosplaying then. I know I was Enchantress at least one of the days, but the rest of the days I think I was just working. So I was just a
and I really
normal girl.
I just like wandered the vendor hall and I didn't go to any panels. I didn't really do anything. I think my mom someone came with me. My mom and or my dad came with me because they were like,
you're not going to go there
alone.
Yeah,
this is a very big event, and you're young, and, like, I was in a very cumbersome costume as well. Like, I couldn't get in or out of it by myself.
You couldn't go to the bathroom.
I was zip-tied into these wings, because that was, like, one of the first convoluted things I'd ever made, and so I didn't really make it in a way that was conducive to wear for long periods of time, so, like, they had to help me get in and out of it. So I had to have a handler. Now I know that word is handler, but back then I had my parents with me to help me do stuff, but, so then there was also not All-Con, not A-Fest. Was it All-Con? No, it was All-Con.
It was All-Con.
It was
All-Con when it was at the other
hotel.
the other hotel.
Yeah, then I went to All-Con, and I went with my sister-in-law and her kid, and we were the Pokemon Trainer Disney Princess collab that we did with Max,
and
who was a person I had technically met at Arlingcon.
And I knew Max,
but I had
because Max was Harley Quinn in our group where I was Enchantress, which should have been red flag number 1 for this dude. They were 12.
Yeah, a child.
A literal child. And I didn't know that. And I'm like, why is this 12-year-old talking to this grown man? And also, gross.
Yeah, so I met them as Jinx at the Arlington. Yes. I have a photo of the two of us together, because I was like, I don't even know who this character is at the time, but they look
their
awesome.
Jinx was so good.
Their Jinx was super good and had the big, like, shark
chomp, chomp,
chomp
chomp,
chomp gun
chomp,
thing. It looked amazing. So, but then I joined like the Facebook group for the North Texas cosplay whatever, and they posted about doing a group, and so I made Pokemon Trainer Aurora.
I wanted to be in that group, but the princess I wanted to do was already taken.
Yeah, same. I wanted to do Alice, and it got taken, so I ended up doing Aurora, and it didn't matter because almost no one showed up. There's only like 5 of us who went, so I could have done Alice, and I'm offended. But Belle did show up.
Yes,
which is the one you would have wanted.
I knew her, so I knew who was going to be Belle.
So, but I
was Belle anyway.
Yeah, I saw Jerry in the parking lot as we were going in, and she was live action Village Belle from the live action Beauty and the Beast, and I remember being I hadn't even seen that movie, but I
hadn't come out yet, or it just came out.
Just come out, yeah. And I just remember seeing you at a distance,
and you just yelled from like across the parking lot.
Oh my gosh, you look so amazing, you look cool. And then I found you in there because you were working.
That's when I was working for TNT when I was being Evil Ted's assistant.
Yes, and so I saw you like at a booth, and I was
with Evil Ted, and you're like,
Evil Ted, she's a person who I at that point had now realized like exist. At that point, I was kind of engrossing myself in the cosplay community online and the world of cosplay and Instagram and all of that. And I was like, oh, this lady, which once again, I didn't realize she was a person I had met as Enchantress. I did not recognize her as the same person. She looked significantly different.
I was much more clothed.
Much more clothed than you were done up in a very different makeup style and everything. Princess. So I just, was like, this is a person and she looks really good. So I, told her that.
And I'm with a celebrity, so I'm so cool.
Cosplay celebrity, and she's so much cooler than all of us. So
I'm not. I'm still not.
Yeah.
Evil Ted and I are friends on Facebook, though.
Hey, that's
something.
That is something. That's more than I have.
And then after that,
that might have been the last time we ran into.
No, then we ran into each other at Fan Expo the next year. And you said, "Hey, hi, little Jer Bear 47."
That's so right.
And I was like,
your real
"Yes,
name.
I know who you are, but I have no idea what your name is."
Yeah.
And then we just like said hi to each other, and you were in a very different costume. You were in that red bodysuit.
Oh, I was Bon from Seven Deadly Sins. I completely forgot.
Because I think I was
year.
in Belle again, and that's why you recognized me.
Yes, I was in an anime costume.
And I was like, this was an awkward interaction, and never thought about it again.
100%. I did the, I don't believe in calling people by their names in real life, because...
You have that, there's a word for that? I learned about it on TikTok.
Oh, no.
I don't remember what the word is, but it's a thing.
Because of the fear that I have their name wrong, even someone that I've known for literally my whole life, or someone I've known for however many years, I still have a fear that if I say their name out loud, I'll be wrong, and so I just don't call anyone by their name. So I had this moment where I was like, I started the sentence where I very clearly should have said your name, and then I realized immediately I didn't know your name, and then I was like, your username on the internet, that's what I'm gonna call you. That's not the worst possible way to have made this interaction.
I've heard worse.
And so, yes, I do remember that, yeah. That I went with...
You were with Jonathan.
I was with Jonathan, yeah. I was with my boyfriend at the time. And went for those couple of days.
Because he was Bob Ross at
ArlingCon.
The next year.
ArlingCon, yeah. Which was honestly one of the best experiences.
Forcing your boyfriend to be Bob Ross.
Dressing him up as Bob Ross.
He was so popular.
He was way more popular than
and
all of us.
And he was freaked out by it.
Yeah, he was very concerned by why so many women were just like, Bob Ross, you're our god. Bob Ross, we love you. And he did, he had the Bob Ross hair.
He looks like Bob Ross.
He's very Bob Ross adjacent. So it was like, honestly, the most perfect costume I could have, put him in for him not being a cosplayer.
Then after that, it was like another year before Scarborough.
Yes, because that was, I think during that, I had gone to these, like, a number of events, and I had kind of reached a point where I didn't understand how to do cosplay at conventions and enjoy it. Because I enjoyed making the thing, and then when I got to the con, and I just wandered around, and some people said, oh, you look good, and then I spent money in the vendor hall, and then I left, I was like, I don't see how this is sustainable. Like, it's not that enjoyable to do that by myself, and so I don't really know if I want to keep doing cosplay, because I don't fully grasp how to do it in a way that's not weird. It is still weird.
It is weird.
Like, it's hard to explain it to people in a way that
sounds psychotic when you explain it to
not
people.
Super lame. And so, but yeah, so I kind of was, like, unsure if I was even going to continue doing it at that point, and then, yeah, Scarborough.
And then, a group of us were starting to get into Critical Role, and I was like, I really want to cosplay these characters because they're all fantastic. And I was like, oh, what if we we'll all meet up at Scarborough because it's like a good backdrop to take photos and stuff, and then we'll like open the invite to just people if anyone else wants to show up, other than just like our little group of people. And I posted on the North Texas Cosplay, probably is where it was, and we actually had a decent amount of people show up that first time, and then you were there. And I, again, thought you were a child.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook, and I was already in the process of making my human version of Raishan and my dragon version of Raishan from season 1 of Critical Role, but then
because you wore that to did you wear that to that other convention before or after that?
After. Because I ended up not finishing it because I saw that everyone else on Facebook was posting that they were all going to do Campaign 2, and in my brain, at this point, I had never met another person who had seen Critical Role. I'd watched all of Campaign 1, like, in isolation, and I didn't know anyone who watched it, and had begun Critical Role Campaign 2. And so when I saw that everyone was like, oh, we're all going to do Campaign 2, I went, oh no, what if I wear Raishan and no one knows who this character is? What if no one has seen the first season? Because if you don't know anything about Critical Role, which why are you watching this? The seasons are exuberantly long, like thousands of hours. Content. So it's like, if people, and there's always a huge boost of people starting when the new season starts,
and then they die off,
and then it dies off. So it's like, okay, Campaign 2 at that time had kind of a reasonable number of episodes,
like 20.
Yeah,
like it was pre-Molly.
Yeah, vaguely early on, and so I was like, all these people probably have only seen Campaign 2, so it would be embarrassing. So embarrassing for me to show up as Raishan. So I built Twiggy in like 2 days. Like I used some of the stuff I was making for Raishan, went to the thrift store, hurriedly made a adjacent Twiggy outfit. I think took a wig I already had and hot glued some sticks in it, and came as Twiggy. And I almost didn't come because that was when
you almost bailed in the parking lot.
I almost bailed in the parking lot because I was like, I don't know any of these people. I'm going to like Scarborough. I don't know, for whatever reason, my brain had decided like this was a ridiculous
That's called
idea.
Anxiety.
Did
you know
anxiety? I
that
know
was
that
a thing
now, but back then I didn't realize that.
Like, what is wrong with me?
I was just like, I'm confused by life and I don't know how to stop it. But I ended up pushing through. I went to the meetup. I met Jerry and a bunch of other people that I, once again, am still friends with today and still cosplay with today. And it was cool to meet people who had seen Critical Role and seemed like regular people. I don't know.
We're not regular people.
We're not, but...
that was a fun... It rained the entire day.
We are really good at
hanging out
experiencing the rain at
Scarborough.
Yeah.
But it was fun. We got to be in the parade.
Yes, because the king at the time was a big critter.
Yeah,
and so
he was like, you gotta be in the parade.
Be part of my entourage.
And what else? I mean, we just hung out the whole day.
Yeah, we just took pictures, took videos. I have, like, honestly, more pictures and videos from that meetup than probably any other one, because we just, like...
We were trauma bonding in this pouring rain.
And just, like, goofing off, and there's a great photo of me with the spider in my hand, with the...
words that she said to me as I count as the start of our friendship was, if you take these and you rip all the legs off of them, they still move.
It's true.
And
if
I was
you
like,
separate the legs of a daddy long legs from the body, they keep wiggling.
Perfectly normal thing to say to a stranger.
Yeah, and there was a daddy long legs on some logs.
And I said, ew, how dare you touch a spider, because spiders are disgusting, and I hate them.
But daddy long legs are different, because their mouths are too small, they can't bite human skin.
But their legs are so long.
Exactly, so you can grab their legs and not touch their bodies, which is where the bad stuff is. The legs are fine. Probably, I don't know. So... Yeah, and then
we just kind of hung out after that.
Yeah, I think we kind of established that we lived nearby one another.
Oh, that was true, because you had posted something about a tree falling, and I thought
following Fan Expo, I get up the morning of like that Saturday, and the tree in our yard fell into the street, like crushed our fence, fell into the street, and was completely blocking the entire road. And so I'm like in level 1 Caleb. And I'm like, I can't leave because I can't get out of my driveway. And also we can't just leave this giant tree. So we end up spending like an hour or two that morning chainsawing this whole tree down.
And I was like, where do you live? Like out in the middle of nowhere? Because I kind of live, well, it's not really out in the middle of nowhere anymore because everything built up around it. But I kind of live really far out. I was like, where do you live that like a tree fell on the road and you couldn't leave your house? I thought you lived like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And it's like, no, I live just like in a neighborhood.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's really close to where I live, kind of like not technically close, but like it's on the way. If I leave my house, I probably am gonna drive by your house.
We both live off the same highway, so
yeah.
It's like if you're getting on the highway, we're passing one another.
Yeah, so going to Dallas, I pass her house 100% of the time.
Yeah, so then it turned into like, hey, if we're both going to these conventions, we should just carpool.
Because I hate to drive.
And I hate to pay to park anywhere I go.
And I don't mind paying for anything. Except for now, I drive most of the time.
You do.
And then now the business pays to park.
True. So it kind of just turned into
Friends
that.
of convenience.
Yes, friends of convenience.
And then I never
That's
left.
my favorite kind of friend. And then it turned into playing D&D together.
Yeah.
I think.
During COVID?
Yeah, was that when it started?
Yeah, I think so. Like, right, because that's my other campaign ended because of COVID.
Oh,
the one that you were supposed to join and be like a guest character.
Yes.
And then that never happened, and then we started playing at my house. And then
I started the game at my house.
Yeah.
That I was like, hey, I've never DM'd a long campaign. None of my players have ever played in a long campaign. Will you join us so you can kind of help? Because it was like me and a bunch of youth kids from my church, so that were a little bit on the younger side. And so I was like, hey, you want to come kind of be our...
Like, I kind of knew the rules of D&D.
I had DM'd for a few years before that, but very, 2 sessions here and then 6 months off, and then we'd remember that D&D existed again, and we'd want to run a couple of sessions, and it was very on and off. So then when we started, we're like, oh, we live close by, your husband likes to DM, I like to DM, we should just play in each other's games, and then we kind of just kept playing D&D together, and cosplaying together ever since.
Cosplaying.
Because we have...
It's more fun as a group, so if you cosplay and you're just like, this is kind of lame, get some friends, meet some people, be social.
Yeah, bully some people into cosplaying with you. Really, majority of people I've met cosplaying, from fandoms that I like if I'm in a Critical Role costume and I see other people in Critical Role, you have enough in common at that point. You're also a weirdo at this thing who has at least one similar thing. Especially with D&D, the Critical Role to Adventure Zone to Dimension 20 to I play D&D is, all the same group of people. So if you meet anyone in that category, you probably have a decent amount of something in common with them. So that's kind of, it kind of just turned into doing all of that. And then so, should have looked up a calendar of what year.
The timeline is fuzzy. I'm elderly.
Yeah. Because at some point, Fan Expo reached out to us to run D&D at Fan Expo.
Yes, they emailed you personally, and I don't know where they got your email address.
I don't know how.
Hey, our battery is dying in our camera.
Oh, it was at full battery when we started.
This might be a short podcast.
Don't have a charger for it.
28 minutes.
So, I guess if it dies...
We'll charge it and
then...
Keep going? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, because we were hosting Critical Role cosplay meetups at Fan Expo and other events, so I guess they found us through that somehow.
I still am not sure how they got your personal email though.
I still
it's
don't.
So
yeah, I really
strange.
Don't know how that happened. And they were like, "Hey, you guys interested in running games of D&D at the convention?" And I was like,
"I don't know how to do that."
I guess so. All it takes is getting some people who want to run games and putting them at tables. And so then we did that. We just got our friends who also ran games, and they all ran games at Fan Expo, and it went positively. I guess I honestly don't really remember these.
You were so anxious that first one that you weren't there mentally. You were not there.
I think I was checked out of a lot of this because I think I was. Oh,
our camera died, guys.
Yeah, and it took.
It's been 2 hours and nothing's charged, and I gave up, and now we're using my phone. So
yeah, it's fine. So the first Fan Expo.
They emailed you.
That they emailed me, and we
organized some stuff.
Organized D&D, and then it went well.
Except
we were also doing Critical Role stuff. We were still doing Critical Role meetups.
Yes.
And whatnot during all of that. And then we also did Fan Festival?
Fan Festival was the first one.
Was it? Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because we did Fan Festival, and we're like, okay, it's not that big. It's fine.
Yeah. Low key.
You still kind of panicked about it.
I did, yeah.
Blacked out.
I still had full panic attacks the first multiple conventions.
Yeah.
And I don't really know why.
The great thing about my anxiety is I can never be the most anxious person, so someone else is anxious, I have to be less anxious to compensate, so it actually cures my anxiety when she has anxiety.
So, but now
it worked out.
I'm anxiety free, so
you cured yourself.
I cured myself
with force of will.
Pretty much, which I believed in from the beginning.
You're I could just power through this.
I think I was severely anxious for 3 solid years probably of cosplaying. Every event we went to,
things that didn't even make sense. We're going to TRF, just 3 of us, and
to hang out for the day.
You're panicking.
Yeah,
and
I have a 4-hour panic attack the whole drive down there, and then it's fine once I'm there. So and every time I was like, one day I'm gonna be good enough to figure out why this is happening, and I will get over it. And now it doesn't happen anymore. So I guess joke's on you, anxiety. Cured.
I got on medication, and that helped mine.
Yeah. Force of will helped mine, I guess.
I don't have great willpower.
No. High stat for me. And I play Vampire the Masquerade, where willpower is a stat.
Ah. I don't know anything about that.
And so, yeah, so we were just running D&D sessions at really just those two conventions, back and forth. Fan
For
Expo and Fan
a couple
Festival.
years?
Yeah, for like 2 or 3 years. And then we did one at Fan Expo that was... It was kind of getting bigger and bigger every year. They were offering us more space. They were allowing... So we were running more games, and we started running panels. At the cons, we were doing like our how to play D&D and how to be a game master and different stuff. And then
It was after that first Fan Expo where they gave us like that,
The
our
big
whole
room.
room. When we were like, we came back here and we're like, but what if?
Yeah, we said, so what is... How do we... Like, we're already doing pretty much all the work for that room. Like, we're scheduling the DMs, we're planning our own schedule, we're coming up with the panels.
We're decorating.
We're decorating, we're doing all the sign-ups. What is preventing us from doing that ourselves? What is preventing us from doing the same format, but not inside of Fan Expo? And the answer was a building of our own. We just need somewhere to
We need to rent a building,
and
which is way harder than you think it is to find a building to rent, guys.
so hard, actually.
No one wants to rent you a building.
No one. You're like, hey, excuse me, place that's a building. I have this much money. Will you tell me how much money it is to rent your building? And they say, no.
Or they say, yes, it'll be this amount of money. And you're like, okay, great. But only if you can guarantee that 30,000 people will get a hotel room at our hotel. We're like, I don't even think 30,000 people can fit in this hotel. What do you mean? And like, okay, then it's going to be $500,000. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
no.
Or you have to pay for every hotel room that doesn't get full. And so then it really ends up being like $50,000. And you're like, I can't guarantee that. And so finding a building was hard. And then, but it was one of those, like, my dad is a big entrepreneur. He started businesses, ran businesses. And so he kind of always wanted me to start a business, but I don't feel like I'm not really a leader per se. Like, I'm the leader by, like, no one else is doing it, so I guess I'll step up and do it. Like, I'm going to make sure it gets done if no one else is stepping up, but I don't do it out of my own free will. And so, yeah, I kind of went to him and was like, hey, this is our business proposal. Basically, we want to run our own Dungeons & Dragons event where we just set up tables and
he said, wow, what a nerd.
yeah, like, what
a
loser.
nerd I raised.
What a loser. And so he agreed that we should do it. We came up with the 5-sided fates. We planned the first FateCon.
But then we did the Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah, before that was the Kickstarter.
We were in the process of planning FateCon when we did the Kickstarter.
Yeah, so in the midst of all of that, I got hired for an event that they wanted me to, like, run D&D for the guests. And there were 400 people at this event.
And most of them were drunk.
And most of them were drunk. It's like a New Year's party type thing. And they're like, we want you to facilitate D&D for that. And I was like, that's not possible.
That's not how D&D
works.
works.
The guy asking me this, I know doesn't really know anything about D&D. And I know and I'm like, I have to figure out a way to do that. And so then enters, like, 3 nights at my house where I come up with a card-based system where the players can draw a card and that's their character, and I get to draw a card that is like the one-shot we're doing, and it's going to take like 5 minutes. You only have to roll a d20, very minimal math, which really I did most of the math for most of the players because they were all drunk and they didn't really know how to do 5 plus 5, which is fine. And so we did that event. I literally like printed all these, like designed them in Illustrator because I am a graphic designer, printed them, clipped all the corners so they looked fun, printed them on nice cardstock.
They look so good.
They did, yeah. It was.
That was a good deck of cards.
Yeah, and I ran that event. It was like 6 hours. It was way too long to be just literally constantly talking and constantly improvising. But at the end of that, I had so many people who were like, "What is this game? Where did you get this from? How do we buy this?" Because there were a lot of people there that did know D&D and were interested. And there were a lot of people who had no idea anything really about it, and this was kind of their first introduction. And a lot of people were super hyped about it, and so
And you're like, it's not real. I made it up. It's
not real. I made it up and printed it on my printer last night. And so then that was also kind of the second, like, coming home and talking to my dad and to another friend of mine who had kind of been working on a board game and being like, you know, how do I go about, is this a thing I should actually pursue? And so it kind of just turned into forming enough cards that then I put it on Kickstarter and named it Speedy RPG and thought, if it makes it, it makes it. If not,
our
whatever,
goals
like,
were super. We wanted like $2,000 or
Yeah,
something like
honestly,
that?
it was not enough.
Yeah.
The amount, if we had only sold that much, we would have lost money on the whole thing. Because once again, I had never done it before. I didn't really know.
All the costs.
Like, people think ordering in bulk means different than actual bulk. Like, when you're ordering decks of cards, ordering 500 is actually not bulk.
Yeah.
You need to be ordering
5,000. 50,000 probably
Yeah.
is where you actually
to be
save
getting
money.
real bulk deals. So it's like, it was slightly more expensive than it could have been if it was through like a major company or whatever. So in the end, did the Kickstarter, 555% funded, and that was all happening pre the first FateCon. And so the money from the Kickstarter is actually what funded our ability to rent the building to do the first FateCon, or else we would have just been in debt the money we had to pay up front for the building. And so in the midst of all that, then we were like having to fulfill Kickstarter stuff, and I learned about, ordering
Overseas shipping
and trading cards and all sorts of stuff, getting like 30 giant boxes delivered to my house, and then inviting people over to fulfill all those orders. It was definitely, once again, it's all a learning curve. Like, you've never done anything like this before. You don't really know what you're signing up for, but it was successful. We actually just did our second Kickstarter more recently, and it was also successful. So very cool. So then we do the first FateCon, and
we almost broke even.
It worked. Like, was it the first year that we accidentally put it on Easter?
We did accidentally put it on Easter. That was
Whoops.
Our bad.
Our bad. I didn't look at the calendar that closely. So I definitely think that hurt us. It also was the same weekend as WeebCon, wasn't it?
WeebCon, yeah.
I think
so.
They put their date on ours after we'd already scheduled it.
We said it first.
And so there's nothing we could do about it at that point. And so it was already kind of like, new con, it's small.
No one knows who we
really
are.
knows who we are.
Whatever.
Like, we didn't sell really any tickets until like
2 weeks
before. So the whole time
I was panicking.
Like, there might be 7 people at this event, and 6 of them are us and my family who's helping. And then people showed up, and we ended up having like 150.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was like 150 to 200-ish people.
And people played D&D, and it was great. There were panels, there was vendors. I mean, it was a success, and we did almost break even. So it kind of was that actually wasn't that hard.
Like, I mean,
it was a lot of work.
We worked for a year.
Yeah, it was,
and we couldn't pay ourselves afterwards.
Yeah,
but
like it was a lot of effort going into it. But I mean, especially after we did it once, it's like, okay, now we have the format set up. We just kind of have to do it again. So we did it, rented the same building, did the whole system again. But then we're running D&D at more conventions in between.
Yeah, because that year that was our Say Yes to Everything year.
Yeah, so we did Gen Con and QuakeCon and DreamHack
and Fan Expo and Fan Festival
and not Anime Frontier. That was the next year. The next year. But yeah, saying yes to pretty much every event that asked us to go, and a way to...
I was so tired. I had no vacation to take, an actual vacation.
Yeah, it was just as a way to see like what more can be done and what events are good and what can we learn. And then did FateCon again, and did even more people. Way better. Actually made
enough to pay for the building, so we're kind of already at 0 at the start.
Yeah,
so...
and enough to, and we pay all our dungeon masters, so it's like, really year 1, the dungeon masters made money and I didn't, because I paid all of them to run the games, because that was always my, like, core belief in running the convention, was that if the event runs on the game master's ability to run games, then they have to make money, because if not, I'm just making money off of their work. That doesn't make any sense. So
we actually don't like making money, guys.
I don't. I want to make no money because I want you guys to make money. I want the vendors to make money. I want the game masters to make money. And so I got to like pay them, and I got to pay some of our volunteers last year as well, because we have a handful of people that come and do a lot for us at the event, because we are just 2 people running the entire convention. And also, my brother races cars professionally, and they keep putting the last race of the season on FateCon. Last year, it happened because I set my date first. So this year, I waited for them to put their dates out, and then I put mine on the next weekend, and then you know what they did? They moved their race. They moved their race onto FateCon again, so now half my family will not be there again because of the stupid racing. So
those are manual labor people.
Champ Off-Road. I have a bone to pick with you.
We're coming for you.
Coming for you. But it's happening again, and
October 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, And I mean, and that's kind of the, like, catching up to
Now?
where we're at now. We're still running D&D at places like Fan Expo, Fan Festival. Well, Fan Festival isn't happening this year because the
QuakeCon.
World Cup, QuakeCon, Anime Frontier. We did for the first time last year, and it was awesome because that Critical Role was there, so it was definitely a bigger, like, TTRPG year. They wanted to really highlight TTRPGs, and so we got to run Daggerheart and Candela Obscura and D&D, which was super cool, and they've already invited us back to do it all again. And we're still running, like, Critical Role meetups at, like, AllCon, and running panels at AllCon. We did all that this year. So it's, like, getting to do the thing we were kind of already doing, but now it's slightly more business. Not that we're getting paid to do it at those other conventions, but we're using it as advertising to convince people to come to our event and to do the smaller events that we do, like doing stuff at Folklore Grove, and because that's kind of the main one.
That's the main one. And then, well, I'm trying to get this painting with a twist thing to work out. I really want to do a D&D painting with a twist, guys. So
trivia with a twist.
Trivia and painting with a twist.
How did y'all do at y'all's trivia?
I got
was it like everyone just filled in?
Yeah.
A thing? Yeah.
And I had literally just read that book like 2 days before, and I did not do as well as I should have, so my bad. No. The person that won, I think it was like 25 questions, and she got 23 out of 25, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
I read that book 48 hours ago, and I don't remember some of these.
Yeah, it's really just creating, like we did our Five-Sided Tavern, which was like a D&D live play comedy skit show based on, with my Speedy RPG cards.
Pure chaos.
Pure chaos. It was a lot of fun. It was really just my excuse to have a mic handed to me and let me DM while standing up and
wearing a wizard
robe and running around, which was super fun. So, it's kind of crazy, I feel like, to come to this point after everything, because I wouldn't have imagined being here after just, like, putting on a cosplay at ArlingCon 10 years ago. Yeah.
And just crazy that we're like, other people do this. What's stopping us? Literally nothing. We have the ability to do these things. Like, we have decent jobs that pay us, so we can spend our real job money doing this. And
our side hustle, which we're not really making any money off of. But...
We're not. We're definitely not making any money off of it. But I would do it for free anyway. Like, I was already doing a lot of convention stuff, just working with TNT and doing other convention volunteering and just being a part of the community. Mm-hmm. And now it's also my business, but I would do it anyway. Like, I would run these things forever. I just think it's fun. I love organizing. I love a spreadsheet.
And it's like a lot of your bigger conventions, which I'm kind of thinking people are finally opening their eyes to, like, big conventions are run by evil billionaires. But the idea that, like,
capitalism,
for the last, however many years, like, I've only been going to cons for 10 years, but they've been around a lot longer, that, especially in recent times, you have these really big events like Fan Expo that gets, 50,000 people to come, and the majority of the people working are volunteers, like us. Like, we're not getting paid to show up, schedule, and staff an entire room of people. We get free badges to do that, but I still have to pay to park every day. I have to pay to eat there every day.
Pay for supplies, for printing character sheets and all that stuff.
So it's like, we lose money every year at Fan Expo because we can't charge for the games or anything like that. So really, I'm doing it so that my friends can come for free. I'm making them work a little bit, but not really that much. Like, I really want it as an excuse to, like, let people play D&D, let my friends come to the con, but instead, like, we're so, like, engrossed in the community of, like, the con scene and the cosplay scene and whatnot, but those conventions are not promoting the community, right? They're using the community for all of us to, like, be doing those activities for them for free. And so I was like, if we're going to do this ourselves, we're going to not do that. Like, it's going to be a very community-based event because it's a lot smaller. It's run by just the people in the community like us, and I want to pay the people that are doing the work. Like, I charge the vendors basically nothing because I want them to make money. I don't really want to make my money off the vendors. And the ticket prices are pretty much as cheap as I can get them where we can afford the building. I pay all the dungeon masters because they're putting in a lot of work to run the games and be, compelling and interesting. And you guys are paying to play their game. I want them to get paid for that because it is a skill. If you've never DM'd before, it's a lot of work. I just finished DMing a 3-year-long campaign it's a lot. And so just like forming a community of people who enjoy doing the same thing and providing a space for people to be, but also in a way that doesn't feel like I'm using them. We talked about that a little bit with Ben about like where's the fine line between we should make money.
Yeah, between business and I don't know, just
like I'm doing
hanging out with our friends.
Yeah, like I'm doing this as a service to the community because I want, like, post-COVID, we had a lot of D&D either move online or people just stopped playing. A lot of the local game shops stopped running D&D because they closed up during COVID and they just never came back. And I saw, like, we need to be looking in each other's eyeballs, right? We need to be communicating with people. Role-playing games are a great way to connect with other people, not only through, like, we're physically in the same room together doing this, but you learn a lot about people, you like learn a lot about yourself, you forge really deep friendships in the TTRPG space because you're accidentally playing out your own life a little bit on the edge of everything.
It's accidental therapy sometimes.
Yeah, and so like that is a service I want to provide to people, like the people that don't have consistent games. Like I'm a DM, I can play as much D&D as I want because I get to set the rules on that. But if you're only a player, you have to find other players and find someone who's willing to run a game and all this stuff. So it's like there are a lot of people that wish they could play more D&D. We saw that through things like Fan Expo.
Yeah, I think that was the first time when we were all sitting around and one guy came up to us after, like, at the end of the day and was like, I'm so glad you guys did this. I haven't been able to play D&D for years because I don't have a group and I don't know anyone else that plays. And, like, it was fantastic. And I'm like, that was what made me be like, why don't we just do this more often? Like, why don't we just have control of this a little bit more and have it be a little bit more local instead of, you know, a big giant corporation that actually doesn't care about people having fun, to be honest.
We'd have people, you know, we'd run 6 games over a weekend at Fan Expo and people would be playing all 6 games.
I think that guy was the guy that was in all 6 games. And I was like, so you paid for a full, he got like a VIP pass to Fan Expo and you spent 90% of your time in this room with us.
Like, you spent too much money for that. And also, we didn't get anything out of it, right? Like, we didn't make that money off of, like, providing you...
I think he got, like, 1 autograph or something that weekend, and other than that, he was in our room.
Yeah, like, we provided you entertainment for 18 hours
for 3
straight,
days.
And, like, technically, we didn't get anything out of it. Not that I'm doing this for the money, because I would be doing a different something if I was doing it for the money.
So many more things I can do to make a lot more money than this,
for sure.
Believe me.
Or I'd be, you know, gouging people on prices, like, or, you know... doing I'm getting a celebrity so that I can charge more money, you know, whatever the cash grabs are that people do for this stuff. Like I'm doing it as a service to the people. And, you know, there comes a point where it's like, I tell people, like, I wish I could do the whole event for free. I wish I didn't have to charge ticket price. I wish all this stuff, but like in the end, I have to pay for the building, which buildings are more expensive than you think. It's kind of ridiculous. And then I want to pay the DM. So it's like, at the end, there is a charge to me to do it. And I can't fork out, you know, $10,000 every single year to run an event. So I have to charge just enough that
we don't go bankrupt,
that we can survive. But once again, like we have real jobs that we really do, and that money is what allows us to provide this to the community. Because we're the people like who run these big conventions. That is their full-time job, so they have to make enough money at their, you know, 5 events a year in order to fund their life. Like, I mean, I guess technically I could run 5 events a year and make $100,000 if I, you know, ran 5 multi-million-dollar events, which I don't want to. I don't want to run an event.
We have a lot of problems with the bigger conventions where there's too much hierarchy, there's too many people to go through, it's convoluted. I like that if we have an idea, we're like, hey, what if we do a craft swap meet? Great idea. Let's do that.
Put it on the
and
calendar.
Now it's real. We did it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a thing. Like, we don't have to go through.
If you're, like, sending an email or asking a question, you're asking one of us the answer, and it only is one text away to ask the other one, hey, what do you think about my answer to this email? Great. Okay, moving on. Instead of you going through this, like, bureaucracy corporate ladder of 15 people.
Because sometimes it takes 2 months to get an email back from conventions about stuff, and I'm like, I really need this information, and I'm stuck until you tell me these things. So,
or half the time you show up on the weekend and they're like, oh, the person that you were supposed to be in contact with isn't even here, so we'll give you this other random guy who you don't even know and probably also won't be around the whole time.
And then he never answers his phone the whole weekend.
Yeah, so then you have to steal tables from the back room or whatever to make your room work. So it's like, there is a way to make things work, but I think eventually things become too big for their britches. run out of room, and then it just turns into a convoluted mess because one person says, I can't handle this, and now I have to delineate it to two more people, until eventually there's far too many
That's why
employees.
every time people keep asking us, like, oh, what's next? Like, what are you doing next? Like, I really don't want to get much bigger than what we are. Like,
yeah. Like, I think we will sell out this year at FateCon. If we're on the same trajectory that we've had the last 2 years, we will sell out of, like, gaming badges. And so, and that's, like, that is a legitimate number we can't go over, because there are only so many seats at so many tables with so many games. So, you can't just stuff more people in the building. There will be no more games to play. So, once that happens, that's kind of the max capacity we can fit in the building, because that's the amount of tables we can fit in the room. I'm kind of okay with that. Like, that's a really solid number if we get to that point.
yeah.
Like, that will be a good
that's
number
like
of people that still feels...
450, 500 people playing D&D in a weekend, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good chunk. And so, and it's still small enough that it feels, like, intimate. Like, there are still people I've talked to that said, like, oh yeah, the people I played a game with, you know, that first year, I got together with online, and now we play a game, or we meet at the local game shop, or we go to RPG Dungeons, one of our sponsors, like, we go play
One of our
now.
vendors met their boyfriend.
Yes, that's right.
And the last time we talked to them, they were still together, like, hey, I met my boyfriend at FateCon. I'm like, I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Like, go to FateCon, maybe you'll meet your boyfriend.
Yeah, FateCon wedding. So it's like, we're forming, like, the community. That was the whole point. Like, we want you to join the Discord, find people that live around you who have similar hobbies, like D&D, play D&D with them, even do other things, like find, you know, we have a million sub-channels on the Discord, sorry guys, but it's like, find the people who love talking about
and
plants and reading books and, like, whatever business. Oh, we're all gonna go see a movie together. Like, I would love to continue to cultivate that space, because there are a lot of people that, I mean, we are all looking for camaraderie and companionship. You can't convince me otherwise. Like, you can say you want to be a lone wolf or whatever, but, like,
you're lying.
Human nature, you want to be around people, and you want to form, like, real relationships with people. I want to facilitate that by having a space for you to come and, you know, feel comfortable enough to put on a weird accent and
be a little lad
in a D&D game, be a little rogue, take some daggers, and, you know, have some fun. So it feels, I think we're noble for doing it.
We're good people.
We're good people.
Don't listen to what everyone else says.
So, but yeah, I mean, that is kind of...
We're doing this out of the goodness of our hearts.
Because I'm definitely not doing it for any other reason. I'm not getting anything else out of it.
We do so much
more
work.
friendships.
We do so much work behind the scenes so that other people don't have to do anything. Like, the people that volunteer, other than the dungeon masters, it's like, just walk into this building and say hi to me, and then that's all I ask. And hang out with me, be my friends. Yeah. Forced friendship. D&D is forced friendship.
It is. That is truly why it's a scheduled time for my friends to come to my house and hang out with me. Now, I do have to, you know, do silly voices and kill them with fireballs sometimes, but friendship time.
But friendship time. Sometimes we want you to kill us. You didn't kill enough of us at the end. None of us died.
I know. I could have done more.
6 years in this universe and none of us died permanently.
It's because we went back in time. There was a lot of stuff.
You should put time travel in it.
Yeah, I can't say too much because, you know, spoilers for my novel when it comes out in 15 years.
You're almost done.
With the first one, yeah.
I might be able to read it soon.
It's basically done, yeah. I'm hoping when I go on this vacation in the next couple of weeks that I can spend some time working on it up there. That's where I spent a lot of time working on it last year. And then, so what's next? A lot of people ask me, like, post making Speedy RPG, what's the next? Like, you making another card game? I want to make a campaign guide in the world of Speedy RPG, which is the world of the D&D game we played for the last 6 years, in the world of the novel that I've written, that is mostly done. Like, I want to continue. I was even talking about, like, the podcast stuff. I want to do my dream podcast, as much as I love to just yap, my dream podcast would be, like, a story podcast. Like, Welcome to Night Vale or Magnus Archives.
Yeah.
Like, some sort of, like, where I get to write a story and then narrate it.
And then have some people come in and be guest voices.
Be guest voices. Like, that would be my dream. I just don't know. That'd be fun. I don't know what format, because Cass was trying to tell me, like, well, let's just play a game of D&D and record it. And I'm like, yes, but also I don't know, hot take. I don't think I ever want to stream a game of D&D that I play in or run. We talked about that with...
We did talk about doing it at one point.
And then we talked about streaming this vampire game that we're currently in with Harrison. And literally talking last night, Harrison and I got to a point in, my character's story, and he was like, I'm so glad we're not streaming this. And I said, I wouldn't have played this character if we were streaming, because
it's so intimate.
I wouldn't have felt like this was a character I could have, it was too intimate to me. I was like, I don't think I could portray this character in a way that I would feel comfortable, not the people at this table who I know really well. Like, I don't think I could do that. And I've thought about that a lot with our 6-year campaign. Like, I would not have wanted to stream that or to, like, give that up to other people. I firmly believe that, like, I have no problem with streamed games. Obviously, I watch Critical Role, I watch Dimension 20, love, like, what they're doing and what they're providing, and it is entertaining to me and all of those things, but I think there is something so... And I think it might also just be because that's where we're at now in life, is, like, everyone wants to be a streamer. Everyone wants a podcast. Everyone wants a podcast. But I think there are some of the greatest performances ever given in the world were sitting around a D&D table in some guy's guest bedroom for 5 people, and no one else ever gets to know that story. It only was there for those people. And those will be some of the greatest stories ever told and some of the greatest performances ever given by players. Firmly believe that. And that's awesome, right? And we can say, oh, it's such a bummer that no one else got to see. It's so cool, though, to create... D&D is a love letter to your friends as the DM. Like, I'm creating a world that my friends get to play in and enjoy and, explore parts of themselves. I get to, we get to laugh, we get to cry, all those things. And I don't think that's always meant for a wider audience. Like, I think it's cool to just do those things on your own. Which is why I'd love to do, like, a pre-written story-based podcast that is something that's akin to a novel. Yeah. Because I do also, like, noveling was my D&D before I knew what D&D was. Like, I was noveling constantly, and then I realized, oh, there's a different way to tell stories than just that. I thought that was my only storytelling option.
It's just writing entire novel that no one has ever read.
Yeah, like 17 of them.
Yeah.
I've written like 17 books that no one's ever put their eyes on. And so, like, but D&D is such a cool, like, and to think, like, I've written 17 novels that no one's ever read, but I've run a D&D game for 6 years, which is pretty much the same thing, but in some ways it, like, doing that has convinced me to let someone else read the novel I'm writing right now, because I never would have let someone do that, but because I wrote and told this story with my group of friends, and they said it was good, they were lying to me, but they said it was good.
We're not lying. We kept Nick Bryan alive for 6 years because we love him.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
He's not. He's a level 20 wizard. He's probably evil.
You cannot become a level 20 wizard without being evil. That is for sure. But yeah, I don't know. That was a lot, and somewhere in there was a point I was making. But
stories and stuff
is cool. Yeah.
I did, there was a long time where, like, oh, eventually we're going to start streaming this, we're going to start a new campaign, but I kind of agree with you that it wouldn't be the same. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of, it's nice to be like, this is our own little private room where no one knows what's happening, and it's like we can do and say whatever we feel comfortable with people we've been playing with for years, so.
Yeah, because I enjoy, telling other people about this, about the games, and,
And then they go, what is wrong with you?
What is happening? Like, what kind of crazy game of D&D are you guys playing? But you get to pick and choose what you tell other people. I'm not saying we're doing anything nefarious. I mean, we are. We're committing war crimes all the time. Because if you're not playing good D&D. But yeah, I think there's just something nice to have as, like, just this little encapsulated story with these, like, you forge such solid friendships with these people. It's the whole, like, the adventure, like, isn't real, but the memories are. Like, yes,
like your brain actually can't tell the difference. So, like, you're forming those bonds and those emotions, and, like, logically these weren't real things that happened, but your brain doesn't know that, and it still forms those, like, connections in your brain.
Yeah, like, you'll have those memories of, hey, I said you have to roll 25 or lower on the D100, and then you roll a 25, and it was crazy. Like, those memories will be forever forged in your mind, and those are, it's like having inside jokes. Like, those are things that only those people at that table will fully understand and will fully grasp, and you will always have those memories and those moments that you can, bring back up with those people. And yeah, there's something just very, like, compelling about that I don't really care if 10,000 people, not that...
Actually, I really don't want 10,000 people to know some of the things that we make some bad, not funny jokes. And sometimes you say things, you go,
We're not actors. We're not entertainers. We are just people. And I think a lot of people want to be the next Critical Role or the next whatever, and
a lot of people who play D&D think that charisma is their highest stat, and a lot of people are incorrect.
Yeah.
I don't have that delusion. Charisma is my dump stat, always will be, and that's why I don't want to be an actor.
Yeah, and there's a big difference between a good game of D&D and a good game of streamed D&D.
Yeah.
Because, like...
And that's why some people
difference in being entertaining
don't
for other
like
people and just...
Critical Role, because they like, that's not really how people play D&D. And it's like, no, that's how you play D&D as a television show.
Yeah.
It's different than playing at home.
Yeah. And like, even I was thinking about our Eberron game that we played.
Oh, yeah.
And because there was a point in the vampire game that I made a character decision that wasn't necessarily a decision that my character wouldn't have made, but it was a decision that would fuel the narrative more fun. And I thought about in our Eberron game when my character was like learned a secret.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, don't tell anyone, and she immediately like
ran to me as like,
ran
I have a secret.
and said it pretty much immediately. Because I was like, that is the funniest option. Like, right, that is something my character would do. She doesn't understand social norms. She doesn't believe in lying, so if someone tells
secrets
her...
are lies,
Secrets are lies, so she's, like, feels bad that she knows this information, and so just immediately was, like, she couldn't keep herself from saying the secret out loud, like, in the next 20 minutes. And it was hilarious, and it's like, I didn't have to do that, but, like, narratively, that is the funniest option I could have done, and I think the more you play D&D, the more you kind of learn storytelling. If you learn the ability to be like, this will be the best option. Like, even if it's like the bad option, even like in Vampire, where it was like, if you fail this roll, something really bad will happen. And Cass went, okay, then I'm not going to roll. I want the really bad thing to happen. Like, this is a game of tragedy. Like, I want the option that the bad thing happens. And like, narratively, that was the most interesting thing to do. Because it would have been significantly less interesting if she had succeeded and then all the drama stopped right then and there. But instead, the drama elevated even more because it was more bad stuff just kept happening.
Wild. I got a 10-minute long voice memo at 4 o'clock in the morning about it.
Every bad thing happened all at once. But that is the game of Vampire. It gets worse the longer you play. And so I think it's cool that maybe I finally felt in like the last several months that like maybe I'm good, like getting better at D&D. Like I think I understand more about how to play a TTRPG clearly than I did 10 years ago when I started, because that's just the nature of doing something for a lot of hours and also consuming a lot of Critical Role, Dimension 20, these other shows, and like watching professional improviser and professional actors like do storytelling to, you know, the highest degree, and then that informs the way you make decisions, and then you develop your own style and the way that you play and the things that you do. And I think
like lately on Critical Role, they've been making some decisions that are like, they're bad decisions, like real bad, guys. If you're caught up, real bad decisions. They're stressing me out, but is so compelling, like as storytelling. Like it's not good like they're not making good decisions as a game, but they're making good story decisions.
Yes, it's not like if you were playing this game in a min-maxi, that like you would not, split the party or send someone somewhere alone that's dangerous. Like even like in our vampire game, we were like splitting up to accomplish a goal, and one of our characters was like, well, I'm gonna go do the violence by myself. Like I'm gonna go fight these people alone. And I was like, that's a bad decision. Like you should not go fight these people. These people are vampire hunters. They're trained to kill you. You should not go do this alone. And it was like, yeah, but we're splitting 5 ways to do these 5 tasks. And it's like, yeah, but that's not, but narratively it was not a good decision, but like it was very compelling for all of us to just stare at her while she almost got staked in the heart. And we were all so stressed about it. But it's like, that's what my character would do. It's going to be a compelling story to then come home and be like, I made a mistake.
Guys, it was bad.
I made a mistake. I shouldn't have gone alone. And now, the next time, she probably won't go alone. Because now, as a character growth to be like, I agree, I should have listened to the rest of the group. So, it's cool. You should play TTRPG. If you've learned nothing today and you've ignored everything that we said, which you probably should have, play a TTRPG.
It'll make you happier. It'll make you a better person. I don't know if that's true.
I think it is. I think there's a lot of skills that you develop that... not only just, like, imagination, like the things you do as a kid, like sharing...
A lot of conflict resolution that in a normal human life that's not super dramatic. Like, I'm a very boring person just in general. Crazy stuff does not happen in my life. Like, I've been in a stable, committed relationship for...
Not to me.
Not to her.
Not partners.
Not partners like that. So I've never had, like, relationship drama, really. We've been together since high school. And so, like, I love to play characters that are just, like, really bad at relationships and just, like, have really toxic relationships. I think it's so fun to, like, explore that. Is like, our characters at the end of the campaign, like, that's not a good relationship.
No.
Like, that, they should not be together.
We keep making jokes of it. Like, people keep being like, oh, Surma and Mynir. It's like, that's a bad, like...
It's bad,
like,
guys.
I built Surma to be, like, not really... He wasn't really a good guy, like, just in general, and he's definitely not a good boyfriend.
No.
Like, he is kind of toxic.
And Mynir is even more so toxic, like... And they're together in the end. They shouldn't be, guys.
Yeah.
But no, it's so funny.
Yeah, but I mean, once again, like, yeah, 100%. Like
Like at the end of the campaign when Cash was like, "Oh, you guys are perfect for each other." It was like perfect as in we're awful.
yeah, as in it's bad. Yeah, 100%. So
And it's so much fun
yeah.
to like, I don't know, never like your thing with River being a drug addict. You're like, I don't have a addiction problem, but it's interesting.
It's very interesting to play through. Yeah, a character that it's always that. Oh, this character is nothing like me, but there will always be an aspect of this character that is like me. So it's like, yes, I in real life am not a drug addict, but there are definitely aspects of his character that are, like, very much like me, like pulling away from people when, like, things go wrong and not really ever explaining my, like, feelings right and proper. Like, a lot of those things, like, those are kind of things that I do. I just am not covering it by taking drugs. I'm covering it with, I don't know, making Spotify playlists or something. Something else that I'm addicted to.
That's your cocaine.
That's my cocaine.
I'm gonna check the camera because I don't.